Before start this video, please subscribe my channel and click on bell icon. Thanks.
Washington, researchers discovered that strengthening protection for areas already protected by law or by local communities is just as important for biodiversity conservation as creating new protected areas. The study was published in the journal, Science Advances. According to the study, roughly 70% of the roughly 5,000 species examined have no apparent representation in protected areas, occur in protected areas that have been downgraded, downsized, or removed from protection or are especially vulnerable to extinction due to future land use change. However, by strengthening protected areas and expanding park networks across just 1% of the planet's land area, the essential habitats of 191 animal species at risk of extinction can be protected. Parks save species. But they can do so only if the parks themselves are protected against harmful activities, said David Wilkove, a professor of ecology and evolutionary biology and public affairs at Princeton's Center for Policy Research on Energy and the Environment. Our study demonstrates just how important it is to protect the places that protect species, Wilkove said. These findings of the new study come amid growing recognition of the need to conserve the planet's species diversity by creating new protected areas. At the United Nations Biodiversity Conference COP15 in December 2022, for example, countries agreed on a target to set aside 30% of the planet's lands and seas as protected areas. The latest research sheds light on another important aspect of wildlife conservation, ensuring that already protected areas continue to remain a safe space for biodiversity. Our study pinpoints where new parks can be created, but also where to restore and reinforce existing parks in order to boost wildlife conservation, said Yuan Zheng, lead author of the study who completed the research as an associate research scholar at Princeton's Center for Policy Research on EN. Many global discussions on conservation rightfully focus on the need to create new protected areas, but our study also shows the importance of ensuring that protected areas remain effective at keeping out harmful human activity, said Zheng, who is now a research assistant professor at the National. This is key as protected areas can be vulnerable to harmful human activities if there is insufficient enforcement or political backing for wildlife conservation. Parks become less effective at protecting species when they experience such downgrading, downsizing or removal from protection, which occur when a government decides to roll back the legal protections governing a park, diminishing the degree or extent of protection afforded to it. These changes could result in forest clearance for infrastructure expansion, mining or other activities, and translate to the loss or degradation of habitats. As of 2021, over 278 million hectares of parks are known to have been cumulatively subject to these types of degradations, the researchers found. For example, Megafreeze dam ray is a critically endangered frog found only in Cambodia and nowhere else. Even though its habitat is protected, the area continues to experience habitat degradation and loss within national park boundaries and in the adjacent surroundings. Additionally, expanding the protected area network could benefit species whose habitats currently lack sufficient protection. For instance, the study found that protecting an additional 330 square kilometers of natural landscapes within Indonesia would safeguard the suitable habitats of 53 species that currently lack protected area coverage and have a limited habitat area. There are many wonderful examples in the conservation of people fighting to protect species, but there is always a risk that when you take your eye off the ball, pressure builds and hard-won protection is lost, said Rebecca Sr., a former postdoctoral researcher at Princeton and now an assistant. Designating parks on paper is not enough, they need to be in the right places, with the right management, and they need to last, Sr. said. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe my channel for more videos.